Hello everyone and welcome back to more Kira Kira. In the last part we decided we were going to take our practice more seriously, so we started to study and practice, and well, we decided that we need to start learning to use legitimate instruments. At least some of us should. So we decided to rent out a practice studio, just to try it out. And we ran into our good old friend Not Kenta here. He is a member of Star Generation. He is the guitarist. So we're like begging this guy, man, always listen to us play, give us some pointers, give us some advice, see what we're doing wrong and what we can improve on. And he's thinking. He's been so deep in fucking thought. Like, he's like, I don't know, like he's like trying, it's like he's trying to decide whether to pull the plug or not or some shit. I mean, this isn't, we're not asking him to, split the atom, but he's like, really, like, I don't know, if I gotta do it, I don't want you guys to get all negative and hate me and all that. So anyway, I decided to end the video here right before he made his decision. So Tsunoya thinks. We wait for his answer in silence. Then he opens his mouth. Okay. If I can help, I will. But I can't guarantee anything. Yippee! Thank you very much. This is great. The girls are delighted. I guess they were worried about doing it with only amateurs. Thank you, Tsunoya. Sensei. Sensei means teacher. Or a professional position. Like, they could also, for doctors and stuff, I believe they also use the word sensei. But it usually means teacher, so whenever you hear sensei, it means like an instructor of some sort, or, oh well. Tsunoya squints when Chini calls him that. Maybe he kind of likes it. Come on, who wouldn't want to be called sensei? Awesome. Then our goal is the performance at the Culture Festival. Let's work hard to make it a success. I hate it when people say bad things about the bands I work with. If I'm going to help you, I'll probably say more than just a few points of advice. A lot more. Is that okay? Of course, we have no objections. Actually, we appreciate it. Alright, I'm going to turn you into an awesome band. It'll be tough, so be prepared. He's our new manager. So, this is how Tsunoya became our teacher. Tsunoya didn't lie about his serious attitude. Starting the next day, he puts us through rough practice sessions. First, he makes us stop practicing on the rooftop. Instead, we have to practice on the riverbank. Groove is indispensable for a band, and we must put our sounds together, according to him. That is why we have to move to a place where we can play as loud as possible. Tsunoya has outdoor equipment such as batteries at his house, so we all help to carry them out. We really appreciate that he not only agreed to give us advice, he lets us use his equipment. That shows us how serious he is. He's a good guy, that guy. Not kidding. Tsunoya has outdoor equipment such as... Okay, well, I already read that part. His storage in the backyard is filled with musical equipment. He says some were given to him and some he found and fixed himself. Now the storage is his room and he spends his time here, surrounded by instruments. That's so like Tsunoya. So Tsunoya. That's so Raven. He even has a drum set. Since he isn't using it, we carry it out for Chini to use. Alright, actual drums. He says that she can use it for the performance, of course, but also for practice. How generous of him. Well, that solves our main problem, the problem of the drums. Tsunoya's sister helps us by loading and driving the drum set. Tsunoya's sister is excited to see how many girls we have, which embarrasses Tsunoya. According to her, the only people he brings home are weirdos, and this is the first time he's ever brought girls who are his age. His age, huh? Interesting. So he's like hanging out with the older women. I see. Yeah, that's so Tsunoya. Yeah. Is she right? Kento's star generation is known for being able to find a girl anytime. Anytime, any place. That's Kento for you. Not to know you. I assumed he must see all the girls behind her back, so I don't believe her at all. After that, tonight he tells me he really doesn't lead a life that has anything to do with girls. Yeah, that's what he wants us to think. He doesn't want his secrets getting out. You know, we all have a few skeletons in our closet. He was a rocker since he was little, I guess. That's too bad. Whoa, pixelation. So, Tenoi's coaching and practice has gotten earnest. Ernest P. Worrell. We don't only have regular practices, we also have these strange sessions created by Tenoi called special training. Don't ask, it's pretty weird. We do things like this. Hasn't been long since we first started practice at the riverbank. We can play as loud as we want by the river, that's true, but the riverbank is not a usual place to hold a band practice. But if you ask me what is it for, I wouldn't know. I see many people who play with the radio-controlled airplanes, but I don't think that's what it's for. I really don't know what the riverbank is for. Maybe it's a countermeasure against floods. But we rarely have floods. People use this open space as they wish, but we hardly ever see a band practicing. That makes it the perfect spot. So people who walk by stare at us. It's embarrassing to be stared at when we can hardly play. According to Tenoya, playing outside helps us get used to people watching us, but I think being watched by an old woman who's walking her dog or a couple on a date is a little different from being watched by an audience on the stage. Is this really that useful? But Tenoya says it's the same. Don't let them bother you. It's the third day, get used to it already. He complains because we still sound a little stiff. But my eyes met with that person over there. Even Karari's volume has gone down, and this is her excuse. But at the real performance, what are you going to do? Are you going to stop singing every time your eyes meet with someone's eyes? You can't do that, can you? No. Not only she know, but everyone is paying too much attention to the people watching you. At the Culture Festival, people who just walked by will be watching you. There might even be people who think you guys are being too loud and noisy. It'll be different from playing at the dark theater. You'll be able to see the people's faces in the back row. You just can't let that affect you. You're right, but it'll be tough to see an old man with a perplexed face in the audience. Genie nods. You know, my goal was to make you the band that could touch people's hearts, even if they just happen to be there. If you're going to play at the event like that, that'll be ideal. So you can't let something like this affect you. I think it's a high hurdle to jump over. I don't think I can do it. You can do it. Sounds really confident. He must really think we can do it. I think he's wasting his time for nothing. But to me, that goal really isn't realistic. I guess I'm not the only one who feels that way, as the whole band has an uneasy atmosphere. When Tenoya notices that, he claps his hands. I know. Let's wrap up group practice for today and do some special training. Special training? That reminds me of comic books. Sure, for you to be a decent band, you have to do something special. And so we embark on our first special training. Wow, this is incredible. Look like you're about to rob a bank. You look cool. Ma and Miyuki, who came to help out, are very excited. The members of the second literature club are hiding in the forest. We're in a copse with many overgrown trees. There are plenty of weeds on the ground and the soil is moist. Mosquitoes flying around us are bothering me. Are we really gonna do this? Jeannie hugs her snare drum to her chest. Not that I can tell if it's really her by looking at her. That's because she's wearing a mask, like the one the Mexican wrestlers wear with the holes for eyes in the mouth. Oh, this is gonna be good. But Jeannie isn't the only one who's looking like a weirdo with a mask. We're all wearing the masks. Tenoya's got some wrestlers' masks from his house and made us wear them. You know he's just getting off on this, just laughing. Because there weren't enough for everybody, Mai and Miyuki are wearing glasses with a nose, the kind you wear at parties. But they're not even in the band, are they? Why do they have to come? Also, Murakami was called in as a roadie, people who support the band by carrying and working on the maintenance of the equipment. Sometimes girls who just hanging around are called roadies, and some take advantage, but that's wrong. That's wrong. The people there aren't any masks. But because there aren't any masks left, he's wearing a headband with kamikaze written on it. His face isn't covered at all. Is this supposed to be a disguise? All the masks are from Tenoya's house. Is he a secret fan of pro wrestling? Oh, that's so Tenoya. So Tenoya. Anyway, our disguise is on. We look like we're attending a cheap costume party. We look pitiful. However, I'm wearing the Tiger Mask, one of the most popular pro wrestlers, so I'm extremely happy. So here we are, hiding in the co-ops, looking at like this. This definitely is a peculiar situation. I'll explain why we're doing this. Oh, please do. Alright, see that building? We're gonna take it by force. In front of us is a grocery store filled with shoppers. But don't jump to any conclusions. We're not going to rob it. Not yet. Can you imagine? Wouldn't that be cool if this game was like that? It's like robbers disguised as band members. Like, they're just like regular band members. They travel around, they do performances, and then like at night they like rob places. Like they go rob banks or something after gigs. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? You know it'd be cool. Don't lie. We do look like robbers, but as a special training for the band, I don't think anyone would rob a grocery store, at least I hope not. As proof, we're all carrying our own instruments. The rest of our equipment is on a cart, which Murakami and the girls are pulling along. This is what's going on. Like, alright, we can only do one transition. Which one should we do? Pixelation, all the time. And this is what's called a guerrilla concert. We go through the parking area and you guys play at the entrance. I don't think they're going to like that very much. He says it as if it's nothing. I've heard about a guerrilla live. Some famous people do that in the middle of the shopping arcade. Live performance without a notice. That's what he's making us do. But can we really do it? It's in the evening. There are a lot of shoppers, young moms with little kids, older women looking for bargains. The scene is absolutely normal. And that's where we're supposed to perform? Punk rock? It's a famous band, the people might get excited, even if it's a sudden appearance, but us? We can't even play that well. When they even want to hear us. You don't play with the instrument at a live performance. You play with the audience. I want you to experience that. I think it's important for you to understand what it's like to play for people. Is he talking? Is he talking about the courage to play on a stage? But don't I need to be able to play decently first then? Work on that? Genie asked an extremely obvious question. No. Courage is the most important thing. The ability to perform comes after that. You know, who cares about the performance anyway? What matters is to stand on a stage confidently and play bravely. You practice because you aren't confident enough, but in truth, your techniques on your instruments don't matter. That's not what it takes to move people emotionally. He's got a point. He's got a point. So Tenoya, though. So Tenoya. It's easy for him to say he's a really good player. During practice, he played to show an example for Kashiwara, and it was completely different. It was like the guitar came alive. How did you make such sounds with my guitar? Kashiwara rarely gets surprised, but right then she was flabbergasted. I imagine that little technique makes a difference, but from what I can see, you don't even know how it's working. But Tenoya... Keep calling Tenoya Toyota dismisses that. Your abilities don't matter, but people who are able to do things easily tend to think they're not particularly talented. We all look confused, but nobody says anything. We really don't agree, but if Tonoya is speaking. Wait, Tonoya or Toyona? Hang on. Oops. Toyona? Okay. Wait, where was he? I thought he... Whatever. We're all confused, but nobody says anything. We really don't agree, but if Tonoya is speaking so confidently, then maybe we'll just do it. Although we've only met recently, we already have a common purpose. Maybe that's Tonoya's personal virtue. Or maybe it's because we're too ignorant. Tonoya's logic doesn't really work for us, but he's still our teacher. Could have sworn it said Toyona, or something like that. Well, let's do it and see what happens. Maybe we'll understand what Tonoya is talking about once we do it. Jeannie doesn't sound too convinced. I don't even sound convinced, and I'm not even the one playing. She's right. If we're staying any longer, we'll be stung by the mosquitoes all over. Kari scratches her neck. We wake up our minds. No matter how much we complain, we'll end up doing it anyway. We make our move. Sure you're not robbing a bank? Or robbing the store? Sure sounds like it. We go through the parking area and get onto the property while pulling the cart. That's when you realize we've made a huge mistake. The masks, they're attracting attention. Yeah, they're probably going to think you're going to shoot up the place. Come to think of it, we don't need these. We talked about being noticed and people finding out which school we go to, and that's why we decided to wear masks. Once we got caught, our masks will be pulled off and we'll be asked our names and stuff. We'll probably make calls, so there's really no point in lying. If they're useless, then I'd much rather stay in my normal appearance and try to avoid people's stares. But these masks are making us stand out. When we realize it, it's too late. Everyone in the area is already looking at us. They're staring at us. I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks these masks were a mistake. People must be thinking weird masked wrestlers have launched an invasion. Okay, that'd be pretty awesome, actually. Now, well, what can we do? I stop the cart and turn to the others. Let's go for it. Maybe people will think this is a special event put on by the grocery store. If we can act suspiciously, then they might call the police. Don't be nervous. Let's play as if it's our part-time job, and we'll do great. I was hoping someone would say, "You're worrying too much. You would call the police," but that doesn't happen. They're just nodding. That's when I realized that this is a serious situation. I'm not wrong. It doesn't feel like a guerrilla performance. I feel like we're real guerrillas trying to enter enemy territory. Murakami takes this really seriously. With our appearance, we do look like people who are trying to execute an impossible mission. I feel like laughing, but my mood is too dark for that. We'll go out with a bang, and then we'll end our school lives before the culture festival. The scenario seems so real, I'm too scared to even imagine it. But as punk rockers, we can't go back. We're already here. We unload the equipment off of the cart. Some shoppers stop to watch, but they must think it's some kind of an event, so nothing happens. The store people don't even notice, so we finish the setup. Oh, believe me, I've worked at a store. Yeah, we notice, we just don't care. Think it'll be okay? I'm scared. Mai and Miyuki are whispering to each other nervously. But we, the performers, don't even have such leeway. We're under pressure. The longer we take, the higher the chance of being caught before we start. God, look how ridiculous we look. When we finish the setup, we take up our positions, and Shinny starts to count. Click, click, click. The light sound of the sticks attracts the shopper's attention. Kashiwara's guitar starts the song. Her guitar is connected directly to the amplifier and the volume is turned to the max. This is called full 10. I know you taught us about that too. As she plucks the string with the pick, a violent noise comes out from the speaker. We didn't really expect it to sound quite like that. Even Kashiwara looks a little shocked. This is the first time we've ever did the full 10, so this is what it sounds like. If even the performers feel like this, the audience must be scared out of their mind right now. I even see a dog going crazy in the distance. It isn't just the guitar. When I play the bass, it also makes it sound like an explosion. Riley starts to sing. Her voice doesn't sound as bad as the instruments. It still sounds horrible. And then the drums. They're loud to begin with, but they sound quiet because of the other instruments. Anyway, the performance hits like a thunderbolt, and we do this at a peaceful, normal marketplace in the evening. This isn't a performance, it's terrorism. I remember the news about someone who killed his neighbor because the noise of the piano bothered him. I regret doing it. The suspect said that when he was caught. I always think that it was selfish to even say such things, but I think I can understand him now. The sound we create is unexpectedly loud, and the effect is too big. But it's too late now. I regret doing this now. I really do, but I'm sure nobody's going to care. How sad. People gather around us. This many people, we can't run away. But we can't stop playing either. The outcome would be the same. We can't hesitate. I only hope there aren't people who can't take much shock, like old people. Fortunately, I can see only young, healthy people. As expected, people come out from the store, even the employees come out, but they don't know what to do. At first I feel a cold sweat, and I get annoyed at my own cowardice and force myself to go all out. Tanoya told us not to come back until we've completed at least one song. Well, since we've already started, let's just do it. Well, we have no other choice. As long as we're playing full blast, nobody will touch us. I hope. Pixelation and sepia tones. That's all this game has to offer. This is how you know it's a flashback. I'll give you a tip. Before we went in, Tanoya spoke to us. Believe in yourself. Believe that you're the best rock and roll in the whole world, and there's nothing to be afraid of. That's right. I'm the best bassist in the world. I can move anybody's heart with my performance. Who would get mad? People will love me and appreciate my performance. I convince myself of that. It's the only way to stay sane. In this horrible situation, the only thing we can do is do our best. I guess I'm not the only one who thinks that. Clary is singing with a powerful voice. Genie is playing with a little improvisation here and there. Kashiwara is playing almost perfectly. And the tempo is too fast, probably twice as fast as we normally play. I can hardly stay with it. It's almost scary, it's almost desperate. Shoppers are watching us with a surprised look. They're dazed. Can't tell what they're thinking. They're not impressed. That I know for sure. The last time someone looked at me this way was when I was in elementary school. I pulled my friend's pants down. At least that's what I thought. Turned out to be a stranger, a girl. I'll never forget the frozen air around us and the strawberry that was on the girl's panties. I hurt the innocent girl that time. But now, what affecting those people's dinners made me and possibly leaving their kids traumatized. The crowd gets bigger and bigger, but people are keeping a distance from us, maybe because we look too weird. We are wearing masks, playing loud music at a place like this after all. We just keep smashing our sound with the day's spectators. To be honest, I can't deny, I'm having fun. When the performance is almost over, a middle-aged employee looks like he's in charge comes out from the store. Is he the manager? Our performance ends. Probably everything else will end too. I don't even have the energy to run. We're just standing there with exhaustion after the hard performance. Because of the violent and loud noise, the silence feels almost painful. The manager's getting closer and closer. He's looking at us directly. Looks like someone who locked onto a target. There's no need to hide our faces. Actually, there was no need for that from the beginning. I remove my tiger mask. Everyone else follows. I feel like I peeled a hard-boiled egg. I feel so refreshed now that my sweat is evaporating in the air. The manager reaches us. I can't believe you really finished the song. Is that a bitter smile? Of course, they are my buddies. Tenoya answers him. Where'd he come from? Okay, I lost. Then the manager takes out his wallet out and pays Tenoya. What's going on? I looked at the name tag on the manager's jacket. It says store manager Tenoya. Turns out the manager is Tenoya's dad. Ah, a smart guy. The grocery store is managed by Tenoya's father. Tenoya arranged for permission for us to play. They must have been betting if we could actually finish one song. Not only did he allow us to play, they actually had a wager? What kind of father and son are they? The best kind. Well, my dad was a rocker too when he was young. He made me do this too. When he made me do this at my grandfather's funeral, I thought my relatives were going to kill me. Tenoya was wearing his usual face. But that was his way of showing his respect to the dead. It was a funeral, so I played Nirvana. I don't get it. But now I know they were a weird family. But if that's the case, why didn't you tell us? I was prepared to quit school. Playing while prepared to quit school. That's great. That's punk. Well, if you told us, then we wouldn't have been as afraid as we were. Tenoya nods in satisfaction. Hey, for me to decide to quit wasn't easy since I had to repeat a year already. Genie continues to complain. Her persuasive power. We're completely exhausted from the performance, both emotionally and physically. We rest in the corner of the parking area. Are you nervous, Kira? Kashiwara is sitting next to Kirari. They both look exhausted. Kirari is sipping tea poured from the pink pot she bought. No, I had a lot of fun. Kirari gives the cup of tea to Kashiwara. Your guitar is great too, Serena. Really? Kashiwara takes the cup and takes a sip. I thought my heart was going to stop. If I died with the mask on with doing something like this, people would laugh at the funeral, huh? Kashiwara takes the mask from the second graders and puts it on her face and turns to Kirari. Kamen Rider! No, that's a Geku Rakamen. Kirari laughs. I don't know what any of those things mean. I'm not listening to their conversation because I don't want to eavesdrop. But Murakami's talking to Tenoya. I don't feel like talking to the second graders, and Genie's playing with the drums, so I have nothing else to do. So I have an excuse. Over there, Tenoya's father apologizing to the employees and the shoppers. Well, maybe it's different from apologizing. It's actually telling them how lucky they are to have been able to see us play, that they should come back again. If you can name the song that was just performed, everything will be half off. What a businessman. If the manager's like that, is the grocery store going to last? Can't help worrying. Then Murakami shows up. I want to be a father like him. I think I never want to become like him, but I don't say anything. Joke's on you, that song didn't have a title. That was our first intensive practice session, and by first I mean there were others after that. That's how it went. It's a little before the Gorilla Live concert I mentioned earlier. Performance is getting pretty decent. As we improve our techniques, we understand more about performing. But we're no longer satisfied with just playing someone else's songs. We want to add a little extra. It's been a while since we practiced in the studio, so we're talking about adding a little bit to our own arrangement. Let's try to go a little farther. That sounds kind of ominous. What do you mean farther? Jeannie must have sensed it too, because she asked him directly. Well, you're going to be punk rockers. He has his usual expression, but his words sound dangerous. Every time Tanoya uses the phrase punk rocker, something horrible happens, as if it's the sounding trumpet of Armageddon. All of us know him very, very well, so we all go silent. But the silence won't solve anything. Kashiwara bravely speaks up. What do you mean by becoming punk rockers? And Tanoya nods as if he was waiting for that question. Well, punk rockers don't settle with just playing punk music. You know, punk is... Wait a minute. I interrupt him. You're not going to say passionate hard, are you? What do you mean? Of course, I'm thinking about Murakami. That's what I said once. Murakami explains himself. He started to play the guitar recently, so he comes over to the practice once in a while to listen to Tanoya's lecture. Well, that's one way to think. Tanoya nods. But what I want to say is something simpler. You guys are getting better, which is great. But as you improve, it's getting boring to just play punk music. Do you know what I mean? Have you all noticed? I don't quite get it. Isn't it good to get better? He's right. Murakami agrees while nodding theatrically. It's almost like you're getting crafty. I like performances with more sparks that are mixed with intense, complex, and coarse self-display. What do you mean by performances with sparks? You know, sparks are sparks. They're bright flashes. Murakami isn't making any sense. He never does, though. But what's wrong with what we're doing? We can't just play strange and disorganized music, right? As you know, Chini thinks earnestly about everything. I'm impressed. I like Chini. She's probably my favorite girl so far. Well, you're right. But if you continue to be this way, you will get better and better. That's for sure, but you'll be boring. You don't want that, do you? After all, bands are for others to enjoy. That's right. Fun is better. I'm sure she's reacting to the word fun. See? So, to make that happen, I think you have to become punk rockers. And as always, Tanoya's conclusion is abrupt. None of us can understand what he's trying to say. Even Murakami's tilting his head, looking confused. But he always does that, so it's okay. Seeing everyone become silent, Tanoya continues. Fun doesn't mean that you're going to go tell jokes or anything. Well, I mean, that might be good. But what I'm trying to say now is to change how you perform. But to change your performance, you have to change as a person. Man, I'm too tired to get into philosophical. Change as a person. The more Tanoya talks, the more anxious I get. You have to become true punk rockers. I mean, you can't just be punk rockers when you perform. You have to live like punk rockers. You belong to the race called punk rockers. How many times can I say punk rockers in this sentence? Once you do, your performance will become fun without even thinking about it. I kind of understand, but on the other hand, I don't. I guess fish dealers act like fish dealers even when they aren't at the fish stores. Policemen act like policemen even on their days off. So we have to act like punk rockers? Now that I understand. That makes more sense. Something like that. If a policeman acts like a policeman all the time, then even when he's at work, he acts like a policeman naturally. Do we really have to? You know, in performances you unconsciously show your true nature. But I never imagined telling you something like this at an early stage. You should learn quickly. Tanoya nods emotionally. Hey, how can we become punk rockers? Well, in the first place, I don't even know what you mean by punk rockers. Let's see. Just refer to different stuff. When you see it, I think you'll understand what I think of as punk rockers. You mean used books? Yeah, there's a good book that talks about what you need to become a punk rocker. It's a little too early for you, though. He laughs. I can't tell if he's joking or serious. Then he hands out some papers. This is what's on them. They're blank, man. 2 conditions for becoming a true punk rocker. 1, a punk rocker doesn't follow any rules. Anarchy attitude. Punk rockers are free. Don't let anything restrict you. However, everything has rules and orders. Mother Nature is included in this. Even punk rockers can't change society, and there'll be some inconveniences. Rather, people who want to become punk rockers have less power to change reality, both through personality and ability. Then when that happens, do punk rockers just follow the rules? No, that's wrong. That's your chance. You get angry. Get angry and curse. That probably won't solve anything, but don't worry, it's fun. Getting angry is very important for punk rockers. You might get confused about exactly what to do. Getting angry is a little too vague. You may not have anything you're angry about. If that's the case, then use dirty words. Concretely, use words like these. Use these words. Damn it. Alright, yeah, that's a good one. It's effective to use at least one of these words in your conversation or sentences. Did Tamalia really write this? Oh, that's just so Tamalia. People are angry, they use words like those. It's funny that when they use these kinds of words all the time, even if you have nothing to be angry about, you start to hate everything in the world. Man, that's kind of a crappy attitude to have, though, don't you think? The more you use these words, the more free you'll feel. The way you'll become a true punk rocker. 2, a punk rocker mustn't think his actions through. No future attitude. This is how people die. Punk rockers don't have a future. So act as if there are none tomorrow. Punk rockers are short-lived. So do whatever you feel like doing whenever you feel like it. You don't check your wallet when you go shopping. You don't think of a diet when you eat cakes. Pick up a stray dog even if you can't keep him. Such reckless behavior makes you a punk rocker. And it is extremely important to use dirty words as mentioned earlier. Unfortunately, society isn't kind to punk rockers. People won't accept you when you use dirty words recklessly, even if it's for the sake of you becoming a true punk rocker. Sometimes people may dislike you or judge you because of that. In reality, you may end up losing a lot. You may realize that ahead of time. However, even if you do, don't let that stop you. You must remember, the worst thing you can do as a punk rocker is to foresee and behave wisely. Is this a joke? Seriously, man. Okay, where's the real advice? Wonderful. This is truly the spirit of punk rockers. Our comedy is apparently emotionally moved. Really? See? Besides, there's only 2. Easy to remember. Man, I feel like Tamali's just fucking with us. You know, he gets off on this stuff. Hey, what do I do if people actually get angry when I act that way? Jeannie mumbles as she looks at the papers. You apologize, of course. Dude, we're punk rockers. We don't apologize to shit. What? I can apologize? Well, sure, of course. It's no good to cause problems or hurt others. So it's sensible in that way. You just said that not to follow the rules. Man, did you even read what you wrote? Sure, we don't hurt others. We follow the minimum rules of the society and act recklessly. I see. Jeannie nods, but she doesn't seem convinced. Dude, I'm not very convinced. I'm embarrassed to even look at that paper. In fact, I think what Tanoya is saying completely contradicts this. There's a few examples of name-calling. I really don't know how to use such words. What should I do? If you don't know, then to start with, you add fuck or fuck off between words. That's all. Isn't that easy? I'm sorry, but hearing that word out Tanoya just doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't seem like he'd be the kind of person to do that. I'm not sure it's easy, but what do they mean? They don't mean anything. You can substitute it for almost every word in the English language. That's the beauty of it. See? You just repeat them. They don't have a meaning. It's more important to say these words. I see. It's not hard. Oh, no, it's not. Kashiwara becomes silent with a complex expression. It's easy to use such words, however, at the same time, it's extremely difficult. I wonder if I can do this. You can't worry if you can or cannot. Don't you remember rule number 2? You don't think, you just do it. Ah, that's right. Kaori nods, but does she understand? You know, I thought we're supposed to read some novels or poetry and learn something internally. Genie sighs. Well, it's best to start out with the appearance and behavior. When you keep repeating it, it'll come naturally after a while. I mean, it's not that I don't get it, but just imitating the form, isn't that called fashion punk? So you know about that. But I never paid attention to fashion punk myself. I don't think that matters. I really think it's a problem that it doesn't look like something we can do easily. To make things worse, tonight continues to confuse me. In truth, we're all punk rockers naturally. From the moment we're born until the moment we die, we're all punkers. It's hard to notice, but I want you to. It's like a self-enlightenment seminar. Tanoya, what happened to you? You changed. So we became punk rockers. Of course, we are punk rockers at home, at school, and also at our part-time jobs. Man, fuck this job, man. The day Karari and I have to work and we become punk restaurant employees, we slap our cheeks, we psych ourselves up, and start to work. I think the one place you could probably not be a punk is at your place of employment. You know, might be like the lone exception. Yo, you decide what the fuck you're gonna order. Me? So this motherfucker customers want the fucking beer, right? Karari. What are you saying? The manager. Nothing. Fuck off. Both of us in unison. Well, this was our first and last day as punk rock employees. Then the manager gets furious and says, "Hold immediately." Man, what the fuck was his deal? If I keep it real, man. Punk rock and part-time jobs don't go well together. Karari and I decide as we walk home, our conversation has fuck everywhere, of course. Oh my god. This game just took a turn that I am really liking. The fucking job is fucking hard. Fuck. I fucking feel bad for the fucking manager. Damn. Well, what we're saying doesn't make any sense at all. We lost the credibility we earned after working hard for almost a year because of this incident. But in return, we're a step closer to becoming real punk rockers. And we're a much step closer to becoming unemployed. My heart hurts, but maybe this is a growing pain from trying to become a punk rocker. I can't wait till school. Kashiwara has become a punk rocker too. Oh my god. This is gonna be great. She gets invited to a tea party during the lunch break. It's put together by the theology teacher sometimes. I never knew she did that, but those who are close to the teacher have it once in a while. All the members are very quiet and they talk while sipping black tea. Even in that situation, Kashiwara is a punk rocker. With a smile, she says, "It was a very nice fucking tea. Thank you very much. Fuck." I just imagine everyone has like monocles and they just like pop out at once. When the teacher, who had been praying for decades without missing a day, heard that, she froze. With good reason. Genie doesn't like the idea of this practice, but when she does it, everyone laughs, thinking it's joking, so things don't change much around her. Maybe people trust her that much, but she's a little shocked. She thinks maybe they aren't even listening to her. But she shouldn't be upset, because that means her environment is kind of punk rockers. I envy her. Anyway, every day we say fuck. When we get together, we greet each other the punk way. Hey, bitches. God damn it. Good morning. It sure is a fucking nice day today. Oh, this game was worth every penny. Morning, I had a fucking damn dream last night. Fuck. Well, we're desperate, and maybe this desperation is punk too. So by the time we finish this special training, we are so used to this way of speaking that we have no problem with it. Also, there's nobody left in class who will talk to us. After we're done, we have to talk by the river. Well, we went through a lot, but it really wasn't tough after all. That's right, my mom was crying, but that was it. She always cries, though, so it's okay. Yes, my grandfather almost took me to a psychologist. I can't trust others anymore, that's all. In my case, I was told not to come back to work for a month. That was about it. I was told never to come back to school, though. But I'm going anyway, fuck. This game took a very dark and depressing turn. Like, almost immediately. We all start laughing. I feel like we can take on the world. When Tanoe hears about our performance, he gets so excited and praises us for a job well done. But we don't rejoice at all. Instead we go, of course we're good. Fuck! Everything and everybody can die. The world can just disappear. We're gonna be true punk rockers, technically and also mentally. But we're losing what we shouldn't be losing. Is this really what we should be doing? Oh well, we won't think about that. That would be against no future mindset. No, man. Ah. Fuck. Alright everyone, I'm going to end the video here and I'm going to see you all in the next part.